I shared this story already with you. When I was 13 years old, I had a life-changing experience. I read the book, The Life Story of Saint Francis of Assisi. And when I read his life as a 13-year-old kid, I said, I want to be like this man. I wanted to love God the way he did. I want to love the poor the way he did. And so what I did after, I went into my room and I got all my clothes and I gave them all to the poor. And so when my mother entered my bedroom, you can just imagine the horror on her face, when she opened the closet. Where are your clothes? And I looked at her and I said, I gave them to the poor. I said, you what? And that's the worst thing. I got some street kids from EDSA and I pulled them home. And then I told my mother, Mom, he's going to live with us. And so my mother said, no, they're not going to live with us. And the crazy thing was I brought home an old man from EDSA and he was really dirty and greasy all over. And I told my mother, Mom, he's going to live with us in my room. And my mother said, oh no, where does he come from? And I asked the old man, Lolo, sabihin mo sa nanay ko, saan ka nang galing? And he said, galing po ako sa QI, Quezon Institute, malala na po TV ko. And so it was crazy, it's unbelievable. And so it's I mean, as a 13-year-old kid, I just knew it won't happen because my mother said, over my dead body will that man live with us. And I just accepted it can't happen now. But I made a promise in my heart that one day we will be able to build a home for the poor. And 15 years later, that came to pass. It's called Anawim now, Hebrew word for the poor of the Lord. And it's built on a 5-hectare property, and we do take care of the abandoned of society, people we pick up from the street, lolos and lolas that have been rejected by their own children and families. It is an exciting work, an unbelievable work. And many people ask me, Bo, what is this whole thing about love for the poor? I mean, why is it such a big thing in your life? And I really believe there's a connection between love for God and love for the poor. In fact, I'm going to say a statement that may be shocking to some of you, but I'm going to say it anyway. You cannot love your God if you do not love the poor. It's impossible. And of course that shocks many people. And people who go to Mass, and people who pray the Rosary, or people who read their Bibles, or people who attend the prayer meetings, and they think they're okay with God just like that. And my answer is no, if you do not have a heart for the poor. Now, why? I'll tell you why. Because when you read Scripture, you find that God favors the poor. He has, in theology, they call it preferential option for the poor. Now, what in that, the big theological language, what does that mean? Simply this: the poor are His favorites. They are His favorites. I'm going to prove it to you. Okay? You've got through. I'm not even going to quote Scripture. I can. Okay? It's all over the place. In the Old Testament and the New Testament, you find God favoring the widows, the orphans, the strangers, the poor. But you look at human experience and you find the same thing. I have a friend. Her name is Timmy. She's a mother of 4 wonderful sons. And if you ask Timmy, who among your 4 sons you love the most? Timmy will look you in the eye and will say, I love them equally. They are all my sons. But 3 of her sons will smile and say, Timmy, Mommy, of course you love Jerry the most. Jerry's the eldest son. They'll not say it with any envy or any frown. They'll say it with a smile on their face. And they'll say, Mommy, you love Jerry the most. And of course, Timmy will laugh. And she'll say, no, I love all of you equally. And the 3 sons will say, no, Mommy, you love Jerry the most. Why? Because Jerry has cerebral palsy. Because her son, Jerry, the eldest, is bedridden. And Timmy takes care of him 24 hours a day. It is Timmy, the mother, who carries Jerry in her arms, puts him from bed to wheelchair, wheelchair to chair, chair to wheelchair, wheelchair to bed, 24 hours a day. Yes, Timmy loves all her 4 children equally, but she has a special love for Jerry. Why? Here's the answer. Because Jerry needs her most. And right now in our world, there are people who need love the most, and that's the poor. And that's why God favors the poor, the broken, the wounded, the lost, those who are in the periphery of society. Unless we understand that, we will not be able to understand why love for God is attached to, inseparable from loving the poor. I'm going to give you a suggestion. It is hard, it is difficult, but I pray that you take it. Number one, expose yourself to the poor. I mean, people ask me, okay, Bo, I want to love the poor. How? First things first. Don't try to do things for the poor. Expose yourself first to the poor. Many people, many Filipinos, okay, we travel from our air-conditioned bedroom to our air-conditioned car to our air-conditioned office and back. And we do not meet people who, at that particular time, while we spend and are not thinking about it so much, spending this cold drink and buy this little cake and buy this little TV and buy that new shirt without thinking so much, on that same day, a whole family would be starving. A whole family would not be able to eat their meal because they cannot buy. And we don't understand that because we're not exposed to that. My suggestion, my strong suggestion, expose yourself. Go to a squatter's area. This is what I did. I went to a squatter's area. I lived there for 2 weeks. Lived in that house. Ate their food. Used their toilet. Shared in one toilet for 4 families of 9 children, 10 children. I mean, it was incredible. Just understanding the kind of life that they live. When you start getting to know and have friends among the poor, then you cannot. It'll be very difficult not to live a life dedicated to them. It's going to change your life. When you want to love God and then you realize, friends, understanding. A Filipino Christian, a Filipino Catholic cannot say, I love God and not love the poor. Here's another reason. Because 33% of our population lives below poverty. 33%. You know what that means? I'll give you the numbers. 26 million people cannot even eat 3 meals a day. Say that with me again. 26 million people. And I cannot, for the life of me, cannot understand how a Christian, how a Catholic can go to church, can read his Bible, and say, I love God, when there are 26 million people who go hungry every day. That's impossible. If you love God, you will find God in the poor, and you will dedicate your life to them. Charity will not work. You cannot say, okay, I'll give once in a while. Sorry. You don't give charity to your brother, to your ate, to your kuya. You don't. When your kuya or your ate are in big trouble, what do? You give your life to them. The poor, they're not strangers. They're your kuya, they're your ate, they're your younger brother, they're your younger sister. And they're in trouble. Don't give charity. It doesn't work. Give your life. Shed your blood. Dedicate your life to them. Make a decision and say, I'm earning this much, I have this little job, what can I do? First step, expose yourself to the poor. Make friends with them. Understand them. Listen to them. Second step, involve yourself. How? Continue to watch this TV show and we'll tell you different ways of getting involved and making this third world country into a first world country and help the poor.